Welcome to a Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav.
And I'm Hermit.
And this is a Game of Thrones, chapters 49, 50, and 51. Eddard, Arya, and Sansa. In these chapters...
People keep trying to die.
Trying to die?
People keep meeting death.
Okay. In these chapters, the Lan clan's plan pans out.
Oh my god. Lan clan plan pan out. You couldn't have found something for out? Come on.
I tried. I really tried. Lan clan plan pan. Pans, man. Okay, I can't think of anything.
The Lan clan pans, man.
No, the Lan clan's plan pans, man.
Yes. There we go. That's the real intro.
Welcome to the podcast, everyone. You're not going to say anything?
Hi, everyone. I usually don't when you say welcome to the podcast.
Well, you should. I talk way too much.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Hope you're doing well.
Cool. What did you think of these chapters?
These chapters really annoyed me. I was sitting there.
Annoyed you?
They really, because, no, I don't know. It just, they made me so anxious. Because every time
was it because the Lan clan's plan panned out?
Yeah, man. That's literally why. Because everything was working for them. And then especially, I was like, okay, we've had Arya's chapter I did enjoy. Because it was like, Arya's chapter was like, okay, this is awful. But there's, like, moments of growth here, you know? And then we got to Sansa's chapter, and I just lost it. I think the chapter that ends always leaves, like, a big impression on me, and then that's the one that I, like, think about when you're like, oh, how was the episode, you know?
All these chapters, like, they were equally important, like, crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I remember
these people be out here wilding.
Wildling. I don't know. But, like, after Ned's chapter, I was like, oh, I know Arya's coming up next. But remember, I was like, oh, they're gonna be on the boat. I said Arya's, they were gonna be prepping, and then Sansa's, they were gonna be, like, on the boat and away. That's what I remember saying.
Right,
but then
something along those lines.
And then I remember, like, right before I started Arya's chapter, I was like, oh, I really hope they haven't left yet. And I almost wish they had left. Now I'm like, ooh, they really did never leave. Ugh.
Yeah. No Lannister kidnapping Stark children.
Well, Lannister capturing, but not, like, kidnapping off a boat, no.
Right. It just happened within the castle.
Yeah. And
one of them kind of got away, it seems. So, okay, well, we'll get to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Do you want to jump into the summarizing?
Sure. Not as sure about these ones, because everything that happened was so important, and I feel like it's all gone, but it's okay.
Well, it's kind of all one story, so you won't have to switch too much when I say switch.
Yes.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so Ned wakes up and Arya's like, I want one last lesson, and this is the day they're supposed to leave, and Sansa's like, I want to go meet my beloved, my betrothed, and he's like, no. Oh, oh my gosh, he's trying to get himself, like, you know, like, declared, or whatever the word they used is, and then Joffrey calls them over, and he's like, actually, you guys are gonna have to declare me. And then fights break out, and then Littlefinger,
switch.
Was it a sword, knife, something. Anyway, Arya, what happens in Arya's chapter? Oh, she's having a lesson with Syrio, And then the not Night's Watch, the King's Watch, King's Guard, King's Guard comes in, and they're like, "Oh, your father wants to see you," and they're like, "This is sus." And then Syrio fights 5 of them. The 6th one is probably about to kill him, and then Arya's like, "Oh my gosh!" And then she runs away, and then she's like, "Wait, I can't go to my room." And then she goes through the castle. Sansa, what does Sansa do? Oh,
the last one always leaves the most impression on me.
Okay, so Sansa has been in this room for 3 days, and this is the 3rd day, so it's 2 days after previous events, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, my friend is such a baby that she's crying about her dad." And then she goes to see Cersei, and she kind of she tells us like, "Oh, first day I went to the queen, cause I'm awful, and then I got locked in this room, and the second day, and then now it's the 3rd day."
Because I'm awful. I'm pretty sure she did not say that.
She definitely didn't.
I
did not get anywhere. Oh my gosh. I was like, it took me like 5 seconds to remember what happened during
in all these 3 chapters, they like have breakfast and are like talking about leaving, and that's all that happens.
There was a lot of things that happened, y'all. It's like, It was in my head, but I just couldn't, like, when you were like, "Oh, switch," I was like, "Oh, which chapter was what," you know?
Right.
It's like, gotta reorient yourself, and then you're like, huh?
Well, it was pretty entertaining, so I'll take it. Okay, so let's just get right into this. So, dear old Ned, once again, he's waking up. I feel like so many of his chapters start with him waking up. Like, why is that a thing? And so anyway, he wakes up to the sounds of Lannister guards training in the yard, and he's like, "Are they doing this to show off?" And be like, "We got this." And I'm like, yes, they are.
Oh my gosh.
And then he gets up and has breakfast with the girls, and Sansa's mad because she's not allowed to say goodbye to her dear beloved Joffrey. So she runs out in anger, and we later find out that at this point was when she ran to the queen.
Lovely decision.
Yeah, and Ned's like, "Oh, it's fine, she's just a child, we'll deal with her later, no need to run after her."
Really, no need to run after her, Ned.
And Arya, as you said, is excited about having one lesson with Syrio before they get on the boat, and Syrio's agreed to come with them, so she's like, "Yay!" And we're like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "Nay," because I know what's about to come up.
Yeah. Out of all... Yeah. Anyway.
Go ahead. No, say your thing.
I don't know. I was just thinking, like, because I was thinking, like, oh, out of all the deaths so far, Syrio was the one that, like, the most.
Yeah,
you know?
couldn't even remember his name until last episode.
Okay, that doesn't matter. I knew he was her teacher. That's what mattered. His name isn't important.
If you say so. It's not like the man was the first Sword of Bravos or anything.
You know.
Okay, we're off topic already. Okay, so Pycelle, the old dude, comes in and he's like, "Robert, he dead." And Ned's like, "Well, I knew he was gonna be dead, so like, eh. So good for you. You predicted that he will indeed die."
Oh. Well, it wasn't gonna be much option. It's not like Pycelle was trying to keep him alive anyway. He was just like, "Oh, here's some milk of the poppy, my sir."
My sir.
Or my, I don't know, your grace, whatever they say.
Yeah, your grace.
Yes.
So Ned tells Pycelle to call the rest of the council to the Tower of the Hand so that they can, chit-chat before the big throwdown. And Sir Barristan gets there, and then Littlefinger gets there, and he's like, "That task you sent me on? Accomplished." Just checks it off his to-do list. And then Varys comes in, and Ned's waiting for Renly, but he's told that Renly left. And he's like, "But I was counting on his support." And I'm like, "But you refused him, though."
Yeah. That's fair.
Did you see this coming?
I did not see this coming. I don't think I don't even remember what I said.
I think I just what you said either.
Oh no, I think I said like, oh no, I don't know. I think I said like, oh, he's gonna do something else, but I definitely did not say anything along the lines of, oh, he's gonna leave and like go on a mission.
Right.
I think I thought like he was gonna stay there and start hatching something like like just there, you know?
Right. Sorry, I was laughing at the use of the term hatching because it comes up later.
Does it?
Okay. Yes, we'll get there. So, Ned shows the council the letter, you know, Robert's last will and testament, and he's like, you know that rude dude Renly who's not here anymore? He saw Robert seal it. And you know this guy Pycelle who is totally trustworthy? He saw Robert seal it.
I love that Pycelle was pretty much just like, we're too sad for this. I'm sorry. Like,
yeah.
Like that was his way of trying to delay this happening. He was like, don't you want to like get over your grief? Like, okay, buddy, like calm down. We all know what side you're on. You can just calm down.
So Ned at this point, he's thinking to himself that he'll have to play the game until the girls are back in Winterfell and Stannis is back in King's Landing, which is smart.
At this point in my book, I wrote, yeah, neither of those things are going to happen. I literally wrote that, but I didn't know. You know,
you didn't know how right you were.
Yeah, exactly.
So Ned asked the council to confirm him as the Lord Protector, and before anybody can say anything, they get interrupted by the king's summons, and they have to go to the Iron Throne Room. Why did I say Iron Throne? Okay, to the throne room, and on the way, Ned's like, okay, not that many Lannisters, a bunch of gold cloaks, good. They're on my side for sure. And he gets to the throne room. Cersei's there, and she's dressed all in splendid greens. And I was remembering when you said that it'd be like Robert's funeral, and I'm like, they're not even dressed in mourning clothes right now. They're like dressed for a party.
I mean, it is a
party first, mourn later.
Yeah.
And Joffrey is wearing Lannister colors. Like, dude.
I mean, I can't.
Like, his whole claim rests on the fact, like, that he is supposedly the Baratheon heir.
Yeah. And like, he's, yeah.
Yeah, and, like, Cersei didn't tell him to, like, wear some...
I think it was, I just expected it, so I was like, interesting, you know? That was my reaction.
Right. So, that happens. What else happens?
Joffrey's like, yo, let's get ready for me to become king. Am I right, guys?
Right.
And then Ned's like, sir, you are not the son.
Wait, before even he shows Cersei the letter, like trying to be like, yeah, you're king, but not for a few years. Like, I'm gonna be the Lord Protector. And Cersei just rips that shit in pieces.
Yeah. I was
and
like,
Sir Barristan is like, but that's the king's words. And she's like, we have a new king now, which honestly, fair.
But no, it's you can't, no.
I know, like, okay, it sucks because we're on Ned's side, but like, he should have dealt with this a lot sooner.
That's fair.
She's already got Joffrey on the throne, and you know, he doesn't really have much.
He definitely had a few opportunities to do something, and he was like, "It's okay, it'll be fine. I'm giving Cersei opportunities to leave." Like, sir, no, she ain't
you
like
leave,
this.
Get out of here. and Cersei gives him another chance. So, okay, hold on. When she rips up the letter, she tells Ned to bend the knee and go back to Winterfell for good. And I'm like, take that deal. Just, like, get out of there. Who the fuck cares who's king? Just go be in Winterfell.
Yeah.
And then Ned is like, I guess I just gotta, I have no choice but to oust Joffrey as the bastard that he is. both in the sense
But he
that
doesn't even... See, here's the thing, though. Like, that's what he was trying to do, right? But all he says, he's like, you're not the heir. Like, he says nothing of value. I'm like, if you're gonna risk, like, your entire life, your family's entire life, if you're gonna risk, like, this entire thing, you have to be a little bit more assertive than, like...
Right.
Obviously,
he should have pointed out that they look too much like the Lannisters.
Like, he should have said something of value before he, like, started the battle.
Yeah,
you know?
well,
and I guess,
Ned.
like, he didn't, you know, they all, like, started the battle. They all just kind of started fighting. But still, like, he really did not think this through, and it shows.
Yeah, but he's thinking that the gold cloaks have his back, so he's, like, gonna be on top of this thing anyway. So he'll have all the time in the world to get into the details. But he doesn't. So Cersei tells Sir Barristan to seize Ned, but he hesitates for just a second and then gets surrounded by Stark guards. And then the Lannister guards begin to charge them. And Ned asks Janos Slynt, the commander of the City Watch, to take the queen and her kids into custody. And the gold cloaks advance, and we're like, yeah, this is the moment. We got this. And then one of them kills Fat Tom. Seriously, this was such a sad... Why? Tom was so cool. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I felt bad for him. I did like him, but I just...
Like, he got along with the kids, and he was, like, the fun uncle, kind of. I don't know.
That's true.
So, this was sad, and then they start killing all the rest of Ned's people, and then Littlefinger takes the dagger. I wrote the dagger being that, meaning it's the one that was sent with the assassin to kill Bran, and holds it to Ned's throat and says, I did warn you not to trust me, you know. What were your feelings when this happened?
I was shook. I was shook, first of all. I was sitting there and I was like, wait, what? Because when he walked into the throne room, up until the moment that Littlefinger pulled the dagger from him, that entire time he was like he was setting us up for like there's more gold cloaks. There's more gold cloaks. There's more gold cloaks. And I was just kind of like resting back and I was just like chilling. And then I got to that sentence and I was like, wait, what?
So you missed the fact that the gold cloaks kind of attacked the Stark people?
No.
But it just didn't come as like... What really shocked you was the Littlefinger move.
Yeah. I got that and I was like, wait, but I didn't like... I was still kind of, because when I got to, because, you know, that was the last sentence of the chapter. So when I saw that they were attacking them, I was kind of like, oh no. Wait, what? You know? it was like built up to that moment. Because I was like reacting, but then I was like, wait, I have to keep reading. I can't react right now. It was like, it was a weird thing.
I really considered like somehow making this the last chapter we read during an episode, because it would be like such a good cliffhanger. But I was like, these 3 chapters are such a perfectly like neat, like close-knit story that I couldn't put them apart.
That's fair.
But yeah, so that's Ned's chapter. For once, the shortest chapter of all the 3 we read.
We love a good Littlefinger betrayal.
Oh, you do?
No, I'm being sarcastic.
Oh, okay, all right.
So Ned's dead? Ned's not dead? What?
I don't know. We'll talk about that at the end.
I don't think Ned is dead. I know I have literally been saying that he's gonna die in this book and the book's about to end. Like, I know that I am the one who's been saying that this entire time, but I don't think he's gonna die just yet.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the wishful me talking, but, like, I just don't think he will.
Okay.
Anyway, moving on.
So we get to Arya, and she's practicing with Syrio, and at one point, her sword almost touches Syrio, and she's so happy about it. She's like,
I was so happy when she was so
got him.
happy. Oh my gosh. I was like,
and
yes,
then,
you slay.
She feels cheated when Syrio yells left, but goes right. And he's like, yeah, but you gotta see with your eyes. My voice said left, but my entire body said right.
Yeah.
And then he tells her the story of how he became the first Sword of Bravos. Do you remember this story?
Yes, I loved this story.
Okay.
So whoever I don't remember the
Sea
dude's
Lord
name.
of Bravos.
Yes. The Sea Lord of Bravos was like, okay, I need a first sword. And then, like, what's his name? Oh, Sirio. Sirio came in, and he had like a tomcat, and he was like,
Before Syria
look at
came
my-
in, though, like, he called a bunch of other, like, fighters to be the first Sword of Bravos, but he had sent them away, and nobody really knew why. And then Syria came along.
Yeah, and then Sirio came along, and he was like, yo, do you like my, like, crazy, like, exotic animal that I have with me right now? And then he was like, I've seen 1,000 of them in my life, so I don't really care about that cat. And then he kind of laughed, and he was like, oh, you're my first sword. And the reason is because it was a normal cat, but because he was telling people that it was this, like, exotic, crazy animal, people were like, oh my gosh, yeah, its ears are kind of weird, even if it was just, like, something normal had happened to the ears. So it was that same thing with Arya of, like, not seeing what's actually there and kind of letting people's words manipulate you.
Mm-hmm. It's a good lesson.
Yes.
And very soon she gets to test her seeing ability when 5 Lannister guards and Sir Meryn Trant of the King's Guard arrive to take her. They tell her that her father sent for her, but Syria's like, yeah, why would Ned send Lannister guards? And Sir Meryn tries to reassure Arya and is like, I'm a King's Guard. And she's like, so was the Kingslayer before he killed the king.
Slay. Arya, slay the game. I love Arya.
Yes. In these okay. The stark get it? The stark difference between Arya and Sansa in these chapters, it really...
The stark difference. That's so funny. Oh my gosh. That's really funny. Why is that so funny? Okay. But yes, you are
puns
right.
Are wonderful. Okay, so Syrio steps between Arya and the men, and he fights the guards and renders them useless within a few minutes. And
oh my
Arya,
gosh, this was probably my favorite moment out of the 3 chapters, when Arya was looking at Syrio fighting, and some of the descriptions that Martin wrote, I was like, I could like see it, and I was like, ooh,
it's very well done. Yeah. And like, while he's fighting the guards, Arya's noticing, she's seeing with her eyes, that while the guards are armored, there are like weak spots in their armor. Like, they're not wearing gloves, and they don't have visors and things like that. And then that's exactly the things that Syrio targets. Like, he pokes a guy in the eye. I think he like breaks somebody's fingers, things like that. And so that's great. But in the end, it's down to Sir Meryn Trant and Syrio, who only has a broken wooden stick as his sword. And, seeing with her eyes, she can see that the odds are not very good. And she wants Syrio to run. But as he says, the first Sword of Bravos does not run. And all she could do is just leave as they begin fighting. And,
the first Sword of Bravos probably.
Yeah.
Makes me so sad.
It is very sad, but it's also like the coolest way to die. Like, no,
yeah,
right?
you just fought 5 guys off with a freaking wooden sword and no armor, and now,
like,
and it really like imagine if he just had like, imagine if the other dude had like any like even like one weak spot, and then Syrio had like just like not a wooden sword. I feel like Syrio could have defeated him even if he wasn't armored and he just had like a better weapon. Because there was, in the description, there was parts where like he was like hitting him, but it just didn't do anything because it was a wooden sword or a wooden stick. Yeah, just, this broke my heart. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then Arya's like, well, now I'm gonna run away, even though I should have started running before. So then Arya's like, okay, I can either go up to the tower, but then she was like, that's where they're gonna think I will go, so I can't do that. So she goes down to the cellars instead. She, like, goes through the kitchen and, like, goes through a bunch of stuff. And then she sees the door of the Tower of the Hand. And
wait. Before she even sees that. So she gets to the cellar and it's a dead end. Except it has these, like, really high-set windows because it's, like, in the basement. And she peeks out of one of the windows, and that's when she sees the door to the Tower of the Hand. Yeah. And she sees that it's been broken down and that a Stark guard is lying there all dead. And she's freaking out at this point. But then she reminds herself that fear cuts deeper than swords. So she calms herself and slithers out of the cellar window into the courtyard and starts moving through the shadows and avoids the gold cloaks. So she's thinking that she doesn't know whose side the gold cloaks are on, and she avoids them. Like, that is some pretty smart thinking for a 9-year-old.
I know. There was, like, I think it was the moment when she, like, killed the dude that I was like, wait, she's 9. And then I was thinking about the events of the chapter, and I was like, oh my gosh, Arya is, like, really smart in this chapter. Like, she's, like, from her first chapter to now, she's just, like, so much smarter, and it's great.
Yeah. So she gets to the stables, and she plans to ride a horse back to Winterfell. Like a 9-year-old would. And Hullen, their horse master, is there, just dying. And Desmond's also there, dead. And there's, like, one Lannister guard who's dead near him. And Arya is so mad at him for saying that every northerner is worth 10 of the southern swords. And she's like, you liar, I hate you, go die. And he's like, I'm already dead.
Yeah, literally.
But it's really sad because, like, there's a whole bunch of people are killed. And it seems like they were just, like, loading the girls' belongings into the wagon that they were going to take to the ship when they were attacked. And Arya comes across her chest and grabs some warm clothes. Again, good thinking. A silver bracelet that she might sell, and needle.
Oh my gosh.
And this is, like, kind of you're, like, feeling really good about this moment, like, as you're reading it, and then comes along this stable boy who's like, I'm gonna get ya, and the queen's gonna reward me. And she says something like, my father's the hand of the king, like, leave me alone. But he says that Ned is dead. So, anyway, I mean, he is a servant, regular, ordinary person, not really. I don't know. Like,
see, I don't think Ned is dead.
Okay.
I know so that I'm just saying, like, Ned is dead, but...
Right, yeah. So, like, it's possible that he was, like, around and saw it happen, or heard rumors, because, you know, servants are everywhere. Or he's just assuming. I don't know. Like, we don't really know how trustworthy his words are.
Yeah.
But he plans to take her to the queen, and he grabs her. And in that moment, all of her training with Syria escapes her, and all she can remember is what Jon told her. She sticks him with the pointy end.
I remember how stupid that was when he said it, and now it's
but here it is.
It's good he told her.
And, okay, I want to read this little bit out loud. So, this is, like, the description of her killing this boy. Needle went through his leather jerkin and the white flesh of his belly and came out between his shoulder blades. The boy dropped the pitchfork and made a soft noise, something between a gasp and a sigh. His hands closed around the blade. "Oh gods," he moaned, and his undertunic began to redden. "Take it out." When she took it out, he died. I don't know. This is kind of like a 9-year-old just killed another human being. Like, it's kind of concerning, but at the same time, it's like, what else was she gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was trippy.
Yeah. And it was almost
and
like
she definitely
instinctual.
even after when she was in like the cave tunnel thingy after, she was kind of like feeling it a little bit too. She was like, wait, what the fuck? And then she was like, hey, I can't be thinking about
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about the implications of that later. So she starts to ready her horse to go, and then she realizes that all the gates are probably closed. And then she remembers the other way out of the castle. And she grabs all her stuff and thinks about how she's going to cross the yard without being seen or noticed. And this part. She hears calm as still water, quiet as a shadow. And she's so startled that she almost drops her stuff. She can't even tell whether those were her own thoughts. Like, I mean, she did just kill somebody for the first time ever. So
yeah. I think she was just like, and it was like all the adrenaline of everything.
I think there's I think there's a crazy theory that Syrio like lived and was like hiding in the stables and was whispering to her or something.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
That would be funny, but I don't think so. I think this was just like her thoughts.
Yeah. I think it was just like, I think sometimes like when you're going through something, like when you're really, really scared, sometimes it almost feels like you're in like two different things. Like where you're like, oh, I have to do this. This is what I'm doing. And the other state of mind is kind of in this like,
haze. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of what she's going through. She's like in this, and then the other side of her mind is like being calm. And she's like, wait, is that my mind? You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So she calms herself down and begins walking across the yard.
This part, I was like, oh my gosh. No, yeah, she did it.
She forces herself to walk, not run, because like somebody walking across the yard could be just like a servant going about their day.
Yeah.
But her running would catch more attention. And she never looks up because she knows that if she sees the guard, she's going to freak out and start crying, which is fair. But she reaches the other side where the sept is there. And it's empty, so she takes a couple candles and then finds her way to the room with the monsters. And I think this is the first time that she actually acknowledges that the monsters are the dragon skulls.
Yeah.
And, and then she's like going through the tunnel and she's afraid of the dark when she remembers the crypts at Winterfell. And she's like, this is nothing. The crypts are so much scarier. And she remembers the first time she had seen the crypts with her siblings. Do you remember this story?
Yeah. When, like, Rob was like, oh, this is where the dead walk. And then John was like wearing flour or something.
Covered in flour, yeah.
He was like covered in flour and he came out of the shadows and Arya like punched him, I think.
Yeah. So Sansa was there and Rob was there and Bran was also there. So sorry. Give me one sec. So Rob was in on it with John. But Bran, who was a literal baby, was clinging to Rob's legs, I think, and Sansa just like ran out of there. Yeah. But Arya stood her ground and punched the quote-unquote ghost, which turned out to be John. So,
yeah, that was a great moment. But this kind of made me remember, I was like, oh, she's remembering this story, and she's not even thinking about Sansa. And then the same thing, like, Sansa literally mentions Arya in her chapter, but then doesn't, like, think about Arya. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, they have, like, side thoughts about each other, but then they, like, neither of them is like, where's my sister?
You're right, yeah. So neither of them really thinks about each other.
But they, like, mention each other. So it's kind of like they think about each other, but they don't care enough to think about each other, you know?
Or, like, they're not thinking about what is happening to the other person at this moment.
Yeah. Which, I don't know, I feel like that tells us a lot about their relationship. Because they both think about the dad. It's not like oh, I'm scared and I'm not thinking about my family. It's like, no, they do think about their dad. So.
Right. Well, they're kids and they don't really get along, so it's okay.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I'm just saying I feel like it...
Yeah.
Yeah. It is revealing.
although we only see Arya during like the few hours that she's escaping the castle, whereas Sansa doesn't really think about her sister for not for her the next couple days. So
Yeah.
anyway, well, we don't know if Arya thought about her in the next couple days or not. We'll get there, maybe. Okay, now where were we? Arya's walking down the tunnels and she's remembering the crypts at Winterfell and being there with her siblings, and the memory makes her smile and she is no longer afraid. So, yay, Arya. This one kind of had a quote-unquote good ending. Like, everything was shit, but then in the end it seems to be that she escaped it, so.
Yeah. And, yeah. It was a good, like, journey to give us with Arya, you know? Like a, oh my gosh, okay, this is my last training. Like, because this was, like, the longest chapter of the 3, so Arya went on, like, a journey. It was like, she was, like, training, and, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna, like, go home and train. And then it was like, oh, wait, my master just died. Wait, stuff's going on in the castle. This person's dead. Oh my gosh, what's going on? And now she's like, okay, have to stay calm, do my thing. Yeah. Like, that's a challenge, man. Good on her. Go Arya. Also, I have 2 questions.
Sure.
Okay, so the first thing is, I can't remember between Arya's wolf and Sansa's wolf, like, who died and who had to, like, run away.
So Sansa's wolf lady was killed.
And
Nymeria, Arya threw rocks at Nymeria so that she wouldn't follow her back to the camp.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it was Nymeria who, quote-unquote, attacked Joffrey.
Yeah.
But since Arya kind of ran her off, Cersei made Ned kill Lady instead. Just to, like, have some revenge.
Okay. I couldn't, like, remember. And then I was like, I have no idea when that happened, so I didn't know how to find it. Okay.
That was, like, chapter 16.
Okay, I see. And then, oh my gosh.
Can you believe how far we've come?
Yeah, I think as soon as we started reading 3 chapters, we just blew through it. Because it took us a while to get to that chapter. Like, I feel like we probably got to that chapter, like, December.
Yeah.
Because we took so long when we were just doing one. But anyway, second question. So, like, this is even farther back. When they first, like, got their wolves, was it like the stag had killed the wolf? Was that what it was? Like, killed, like, the mother wolf?
Yes, I think, yeah.
Okay, I see. Because I couldn't, like, remember what had happened. Alright. That was my question.
Any reason why you're thinking of these things now?
I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking about, I was like, I don't know. Is Ned dead? Is Ned, like, did they kill Ned? Or were they like, oh, we might still have a use for him. We should, like, think this through. Okay. So I was like, what if he, like, lives and then, like, a Baratheon kills him later, you know? Just because of that thing. But then I was like, okay. I don't know. Just speculating, because I don't know, I was like, I don't know.
Well, in a way, Robert was the one that made him come to King's Landing, and he's the one that would have gotten Ned killed. So
that's fair. That is fair.
So that's that for Arya. Let's move on to Sansa.
Our lovely resident, soon-to-be queen.
Well, or as she's told. So condescending. Okay, people deal with trauma in different ways. Fine. Just remember that.
Fine.
Okay, so Sansa is confined to a room in Maegor's Holdfast for 3 days. And Jane Poole is with her, and she won't stop crying. And Sansa thinks to herself that she's such a child. I'm so grown up. I don't cry over such petty things as people dying. Well, that's not true. On the first day, she did cry because this was the first time that, you know, she had heard the fighting and killing around her. That's never really been a thing that she's had to deal with in her life. So,
yeah. She was that like, I think she was like, oh, in the stories, they don't plead and beg, or she said something like that.
Right.
There was like a line when she
heard
said that.
like along with the fighting and killing, she also heard the pleas of the people that were dying, and it didn't fit with her like idea of how people died. Like
yeah,
like they died with valor as opposed to begging for life.
Yeah.
So again,
and like you said, it was like the opposite of like when Arya was like, "Oh, these people don't always have honor," and it's the opposite where Sansa's like, "Wait, they don't always have honor." It's like they're like foils to each other almost.
Wait, please rephrase that. I didn't really understand what you were saying.
Like, in Arya's chapter when the dude's trying to convince her that like Ned did in fact come like command him to come get her.
Oh, she was questioning like Sir Meryn Trant's honor.
Yeah. But
like okay, so she's automatically suspicious of people's honor, whereas for Sansa it comes as a surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So the first night Jane was brought to her like room.
She wasn't supposed to be, but she was.
Yeah. And she is really not okay. She says that they're killing everyone. And begins to cry and doesn't stop. I hope she's hydrating. So
I hope she's hydrating.
That was such a stupid comment.
They're feeding them well, so I'm assuming they have some water with them.
Right, but like if you're so distressed, I don't know how.
That's true. You might not actually be drinking the water. Wait,
yeah,
you're right. You're right. I didn't even. Yeah, that makes sense.
So on the second day, the begins bell to ring. On the second day, the bells begin to ring, and so Sansa's like, "I bet it's because Robert's dead," and so this is kind of strange for me. Because it seems to me that Sansa or Arya, like, none of them were told that Robert was dying.
Yeah. Yeah. I was...
Like, why wouldn't...
Kate, like, I was gonna ask you about that. Because I had the exact same reaction. I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, maybe it'll be explained later.
Like, we don't see anybody telling them, but I just assumed they were told at some point.
I think they have to be if she was like, if that was her first instinct. Because it could have been any royal.
No. Well, no. I think... Yeah, no. I really don't think they were told.
But...
Because her instinct is that it's Robert because she thinks that his death might have been the cause for all the fighting. Like somebody had come in to kill him.
I see.
Yeah, okay, anyway, it's just strange. I mean, okay, I get it. So, Robert came in dying very late at night. Ned saw him and then went to bed. And then the next morning, he was having breakfast with the girls when, he had to get on with things. So, maybe he just didn't have a chance to explain,
Oh my gosh, yeah. All of, like the last, 5 chapters have been over a span of,
course of a night, basically.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, what else happens? Oh, also, the bells, Robert died the day before. Why did they ring them a day later? Why weren't the bells ringing when Ned was confronting Cersei and Joffrey in the throne room? Because that's technically the day he died.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's, just another one of those, things that didn't make sense to me. Maybe I'm, forgetting something, but I don't know. So, on the third day, Sir Boros Blunt, I don't know how to say that. Sir Boros comes to take her to the queen.
Yeah.
He's quite blunt about it. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And Sansa's like, you look wonderful. And he's like, yeah, you too.
She, no matter what, she is determined to be a lady, and a lady doesn't forget her courtesies. So, on their way out of Maegor's Holdfast, Sansa's, little dream is broken a little bit again, because there's a guy being lured into the moat to retrieve a dead body that has been impaled on one of the spikes. And she doesn't want to look at the body because she's afraid that she might know who it is. And I can get that.
Yeah, that is fair. And that was when I realized, I was like, oh my, I know she said it, but that was the moment that I realized, oh wait, she hasn't like left the cat. Like she's left heard it, but she hasn't seen anything. Like Jeannie, like saw that stuff
Jane.
the first, or sorry,
Jean. I know it's spelled really weird, but it's just Jane.
Okay, so Jane,
plain Jane.
Okay, plain Jane. Jane saw that stuff like the first day, but like Sansa's been in that room for 3 days. Right after she like got taken.
She
there,
talked to Cersei.
Yeah, and then she got taken there right away. Crazy.
Yep. So, she gets taken to the council chambers, where the queen and the council await her, and she's all impressed by how well decorated the council room is, and I'm like, you just saw a dude
I know
on a spike, like, but I guess that's like, okay, wait, I need to think about this, because my like judgmental, not understanding, non-empathetic self is coming out, but okay, so maybe focusing on these weird random details is her way of dealing with having just seen a dead body. Like,
it definitely is, because I think even in like that's kind of her thing, where she's like, okay, there's this bad thing, this doesn't what? Why?
Yeah.
You know? And then she's kind of like, oh, well, there's this good thing. I'm going to focus on this. That's been her, that she always does that. Like, that's just
and
part of her character.
I do that so often too. Like, there will be something terrible going on and I'll just like come to my room and read a book, like, so that I don't have to think about it. Yeah. It's a thing.
Yes.
So, okay, it's fair. But, so Cersei's there and Sansa explains how we have been very well taken care of. They have brought us everything we need. And Cersei's like, us? What you talking about? And she's unhappy to find out that Jane was with Sansa because, you know, that gives Sansa some insight into what's been happening. And her plan clearly was to isolate her entirely.
Yeah.
And so Cersei wants Jane gone, like, ASAP. And Littlefinger volunteers to find a place for her.
Is he gonna take her to a brothel?
I don't know, is he?
He probably is. And
I must say I think so too.
Yeah. What the? And he was like still being creepy.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So Sansa sits down and okay, I wrote this down but even as I was writing it down, like, my skin was crawling. She could feel Littlefinger staring. Something about the way the small man looked at her made Sansa feel as though she had no clothes on.
That's disgusting. This is literally, what is she, like 11, 12?
Yes, 11.
Yeah, that is fucked up.
And later he's like, oh, she's not that much like her father. In fact, she looks exactly like Cat.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you living in your, like, 12-year-old fantasies? Like, what the heck?
Like, I do not at all begrudge him, like, the thing that he did with Ned in the throne room. Like, yeah, whatever. But this, like, somebody just shoved that dagger up his ass. Okay, so, I really hate Littlefinger, especially. I'm so disturbed. I'm gonna think about something good. See, I'm gonna distract myself.
Yeah, see, I was trying to find something in this chapter to distract you, and no, nothing in this chapter exists.
Yeah. So Cersei
also, so since all the remaining council members are in the room, I'm assuming they like killed Barristan because he's not there, and he was like, he like hesitated because he was like,
I didn't even notice. Huh. Good observation.
I don't know.
Well, it could have. Well, he is the king's guard, so he might be guarding the king. But
I don't think so though, because he's like definitely that guy who's like, this is my, I'm defending the kingdom type vibe, you know? Like like when Cersei ripped the letter, he was like, huh, you know? I feel like they had to kill him after that, because even after that reaction.
Okay, so you think Barristan's dead?
I think Barristan's dead.
Well, he was old. It's okay. No, just kidding. I was remembering back to like one of the early John chapters when he's feeling bitter about Donald Noy, the armorer, who'd lived like 30 years, and he's like, "You've lived a life. What do you care?"
Oh my gosh.
Random thought. Okay, rein it back in. So Cersei starts sweet talking to Sansa and is like, "You know how much I love you. You know how much Joffrey loves you."
Oh my gosh. Okay, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't even think so. Usually, like, do you remember the last Sansa chapter where I was like, Sansa, why are you saying these awful things? In that chapter, I was mad because of Sansa. In this Sansa, I don't know why I said that.
That's fine.
Sansa,
you can say that.
In this Sansa chapter, it's not even Sansa. Like, I don't even blame her in this chapter. It's literally just the land plan. It's just like, and like all the manipulation and all the like sweet
she's
talking.
11 and she's just falling for it.
Yeah, I don't blame her, because she does have moments where she's like, wait, I just want to talk to my dad, or like, wait, I don't think my dad would have done that, you know, like, she does have those moments, so obviously she's not inherently just like,
this
my
is
dad
like
did this.
Master manipulating, like, that goes on here.
So
Cersei starts off like all sweet, and then Varys is like, your father's a traitor.
Yeah.
And they produced the letter that Ned had given to Fat Tom to give to Stannis as proof of his
That's why it
treachery.
annoyed me so much, because it was such a good freaking plan.
Yeah. And
like,
then
what?
and then Cersei's like, I like you and all, but I don't know if I would want my son marrying a traitor's daughter. And then Sansa is obviously like outraged by that. She exclaims her love for Joffrey, and that's when we find out that because of her never dying love for Joffrey, she went and told Cersei about Ned's plan to send her and Arya back to Winterfell.
I get it, but like,
Yeah.
Like, like, girl, that is...
Like, the thing in the throne room would still have probably gone down, but maybe the girls would have been able to get away on the boat by now. Like, I don't know.
I think it's just like what we were talking about before, like her just taking things as she sees them. She's like, oh, Cersei doesn't scare me, so I can go to her. Like, it's just... Yeah. I think it's also just that thing of, like, when you're so obsessed with something, like... And once again, I don't blame her for her obsession, but it is an obsession. Like, her obsession with, like, okay, I'm gonna be this, like, royalty. I'm gonna marry this King Joffrey, or soon-to-be King Joffrey. Like,
well, it's also what she's been, like, raised to be. So she's just living up to the expectations that were set for her.
Yeah, and I don't blame her for that, but, like, those expectations are still inhibiting her on so many steps. Like, even when, like, the whole Joffrey thing went down, and it was like, no, he's still great. And it's like, you just look at, like, what supports what you want to happen. Yeah. And even now, she's like, oh, Joffrey will, like, he'll, like, exile him for a couple of years, but then we'll be fine. It's fine. It's all gonna be fine. And I'm like, oh, Sansa, girl, you don't even know. Yeah. So, Varys is like, oh, she's just a sweet innocent child, but she is a traitor's daughter. Like, he's not, like, really taking a side, but he's clearly also not helping her. Yeah. And then Pycelle says, a child born of traitor seed will find that betrayal comes naturally to her. She's a sweet thing now, but in 10 years, who can say what treasons she may hatch? Oh, and, okay. Hatch. Oh. Yes. And also, I remembered I was expecting a line after this, but I realized it's a line from the show. It's not actually in the books. Oh. When Pycelle says this in the show, Sansa replies, I won't hatch anything. It's like such a... Oh, I won't hatch it. Yeah.
But, and then Littlefinger comes in with, she's not like her father. She's like her mother, who I wanted to fuck. Okay, and then Cersei's like, moving on. I kind of get the sense that even Cersei is creeped out by Littlefinger in this.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And again, she's like, yeah, I don't think I could marry you to Joffrey unless your family the rest of your family were to remain loyal. So this is where we get to the point. They want Sansa to write letters to her family telling them of Ned's treason and urging them to swear fealty to Joffrey. And, Sansa's like, could I consult with my father? And they're like, you want to speak to a traitor? I don't know whose voice that is, but... And, they guilt her back into it. And they tell her that Ned has not been harmed. So, contradicting statement. Who do we believe? The small council or the stable boy?
See, I think that Ned is okay. Well, I don't think Ned is okay. But I think that Ned
not
is
dead. Okay.
Ned is not dead. I think that our lovely Nedardio is alive. I really hope we get a chapter with him, but I feel like for the first time until the end of the book, we're probably not going to get a Ned chapter. So then we're not even going to know his fate for a while.
So when will we get a Ned chapter?
Maybe like next book.
Okay.
I love how I said maybe as though we could go an entire book without seeing him and then suddenly he's live. No, I think like the beginning of the second book could be it.
You have no idea about characters not being around for some time and then showing up.
I see. Interesting.
Oh, I want to say so many things, but I'm not gonna.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Like, you forget sometimes that some people exist, and then all of a sudden they show up. Okay, move on. Nav, you're gonna say too much.
I feel like that's gonna happen with...
Just...
What's that dude? Who's that dude that went to Dragonstone and then, like, never came back?
Stannis?
Oh, wait, that's the same person. I thought it was a different person. Okay, never mind. But I feel like that'll probably happen with Stannis. Well, yeah, duh. He hasn't even seen the letter. We haven't seen him this... No, yeah. That's what I mean. I feel like he'll, like, come back eventually, but, like, I forgot that the letter never even got to him. I forgot about that part.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely not getting to him now.
Oh my gosh. I hate that I didn't, like, think about that. Everything else I was like, oh, the Lannisters are gonna intercept the ship, but I wasn't thinking about, they can intercept mail, too. Wasn't it? Especially
mail
since...
Or
especially
the mailman.
The mailman, yes.
Intercept him with a spear. Okay, so what is with my brain today? I'm so sorry.
Intercept him with a spear. Oh
no. Okay, so Sansa, she thinks to herself that if she can convince her family to remain loyal, that she'll be able to save her father. She'll beg Joffrey to just exile him, and then when she's queen, she'll get him to pardon him. So all's gonna be good.
Sansa's wishful thinking is just, oh my gosh.
Heartbreaking.
Girl. Yeah. Yes.
So she agrees to write the letters, and then Varys comes out here with Ned's seal, and is all, let me seal those for you. So now, I don't remember, like, really noting this before, but Varys has Ned's seal. Like that's kind of a, like, it's like having somebody's signature.
But can't they just like
make a new seal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I bet they could, but I don't know. It's just still kind of significant.
Yeah.
To me, I don't even know how this, like, I don't remember if this ever comes back up, but yeah, just a point to be noted.
Interesting.
That's true. I wonder if they have, like, a specific way of making very unique seals that are, like, they can't be counterfeited. I don't know.
I don't think they do, because aren't their seals just, like, their thing? Like,
their sigil?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so she writes the letters and gets sent back to her room. And when she gets there, Jane Poole and all her stuff is gone. And she reads some stories and goes to bed. And it was not until later that night, as she was drifting off to sleep, that Sansa realized she had forgotten to ask about her sister.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, that's the end of those. I know these were, like, stressful and kind of like sucky chapters, but did you enjoy them?
I enjoyed Arya's chapter, that is what I will say. I enjoyed that the Lannister plan was so, like, I enjoyed that the Lannisters are such good villains, that they're not stupid villains, you know? I enjoyed that part. I really liked Arya's chapter, though. That was definitely the chapter that I enjoyed. The other ones, I was like, you know? But Arya's chapter was like, I feel like it was a good chapter, because there was so much conflict and there was so much going on, but at the same time, there were, like, some good moments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Definitely the most hopeful of these.
Yes.
So let's move on to predictions, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. So I just want one clear, like, answer on what do you think has happened to Ned / what will happen to him?
Okay, Ned has been, like, kept somewhere, imprisoned.
Okay.
I think, he's not dead. I don't know why he's not dead, but I think they're like, oh, we might like use him later, or we could get, like, I don't know, like, they could get something out of him.
Okay, but Sir Barristan Selmy is dead.
Yes.
Okay. So these letters, when they get to Catelyn / Robb, how are they going to react?
I think Catelyn, because wait, she wrote in the letter, like, oh, my dad is a traitor,
right,
and you guys need to bow to the new king. See, I think for sure Catelyn is gonna be like, this isn't real, you know? Catelyn for sure is gonna be like, we are not pledging freaking fealty to this freaking 2-year-old Joffrey. I think she'll realize that, like, something's up. Like, somebody forced Sansa to write those, or, like, something.
Okay. And what about Robb?
I think Robb will be like, I don't think Robb will believe that, like, his dad is a traitor, but I think it'll be like, they'll have to, you know, bow down, even if they don't agree with it.
Okay, so Robb is going to swear fealty to Joffrey.
Yes.
Okay. And what's going to happen to Arya? Will she escape? For how long will she escape?
Yeah, because where she's going, it takes her to, like, to the river or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it takes
like
her
to the other side of the city somewhere.
Yeah. So she might. That's true. What's she gonna do? This entire time she was just like, oh, I have to get out of this castle. But she doesn't even have a plan. All she has is clothes and her sword. Well, she's gonna get to the river. So maybe she could get on a boat.
She's gonna swim to Winterfell.
No. She's gonna find a boat on the dock. See, but they're all probably, like, the Lannisters. See, I don't think the Lannisters would secure the boats, though, so it's fine. It'll definitely, like, the Lannisters will find out maybe after.
Okay. So she gets on a boat out of there.
She gets on a boat out of there, and she's like, oh, take me to Winterfell. But the dude's gonna not take her to Winterfell.
So where will the dude take her?
See, but I'm contradicting myself. I'm saying the Lannisters, the dude's gonna take her to Winterfell. We're just gonna simplify the prediction.
Okay. How's Arya gonna deal with the fact that she just killed someone?
That's a good question. I don't know. I feel like it'll probably just be one of those things where, like, she can't sleep because her brain is...
Okay, it just haunts her dreams.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think will Arya kill again?
Yes, but I don't think she'll kill again soon.
Okay, what's soon?
Like, I don't think she's gonna kill again, like, in this book.
Okay. Got it. What's gonna happen to Sansa?
She's gonna be taken back to her room, and then she's
already in her room.
Oh, wait, yeah, she did get taken back. So she's gonna be sitting in her room, and I feel like, I don't think we're gonna see her for the next while. Because, oh wait, no, but we need somebody at the castle. So we need to see Sansa, because there's nobody else at the castle. Okay, yeah, I think we'll see Sansa more often now, because now Ned's... Well, we might get a Ned chapter when he's, like, locked in the dungeon. No, we'll get a Sansa chapter. Okay, so we're gonna have a Sansa chapter. Sansa's still gonna be in her room, and maybe she'll, like
look out the window. Like, what's she gonna... Like, if she's our eyes at the castle, how much can she do from her own room?
That's true. Maybe it's, like... Maybe since now the conflict is kind of calm, and they've, like, gotten rid of people, it's been, like, 3 days. Because, like, now on the 3rd day, she was able to, you know, like, leave her room. Oh, wait, first she has to write the letters. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, she writes the letters.
She already wrote the letters.
Even sitting there? Oh,
No, she wrote them when she went to the council room.
Oh, I forgot. Okay. Anyway, letters are done.
Yeah, she talks about, like, her hands were cramping by the time
Oh,
she
yeah,
written
yeah,
the
yeah. She does. Yes, you're right. She does do that. Okay, she'll be there. She'll be allowed to leave her room now. Okay. And she'll, like, go on with, like, her... Oh, wait, is the lady dead? The lady that she would... Septa? Septa? Oh, they probably killed Septa.
I don't think we know.
Okay, well, she's gonna get... She'll be allowed to leave her room, and she'll be allowed to, like... I don't know, like, do artsy stuff and, like, entertain herself, you know?
Alright. I can't... That's enough for today. Any other predictions you can think of making? Oh, what's Renly up to?
Okay, so he's with Tyrell, and him and Tyrell always have weird plans. Like the one where they were gonna marry Robert to Tyrell's sister, like, okay. Anyway, that did not work.
So now they're gonna marry Tyrell's sister to Joffrey?
Oh my gosh. I don't think so, because then Joffrey's still... Okay, so I think... See, just because of that, I feel like Renly isn't always gonna have the great... Oh no, but he had a pretty good plan last time when he was like, capture the children and they'll have to bow down to you. That might have worked. So this might be a good plan. Okay, what's he gonna do? What can he do? So he knows that the Lannisters are gonna take power. I don't even know. I think they might just go and join, like, you know, the other people, like the Eyrie and all the people in the middle? They might just assemble their forces, like, together.
Okay.
And then not...
all the people in the middle.
Not pledge fealty or whatever to their king.
Okay.
Like so like the Eyrie, and then, like, Catelyn's dad, wherever that is.
Like the Riverlands?
Yeah. The Riverlands, the Eyrie, they're gonna go join those people. And then they're gonna not pledge fealty, and they're gonna try to fight the Lannisters.
Okay. Sounds good. Let me just look through these things here.
Okay, I'm just gonna check my notes.
Sure, go ahead. Oh, what's gonna happen to Jane? You think she's being sent to a brothel?
Yeah. I don't think she might be one of those people, like you said, that we don't see for, like, 1,000,000 years, and then, like, 1,000,000 books down the road, she's like, hey, I'm alive.
Okay. Look through your notes. Let me know if there's any... Oh, what's Littlefinger's, like... Why did he decide to go with the land plan?
Because, well, okay, he gave... okay, so even when he was, like, talking to Ned and he was like, we should do this plan, his plan was one that would keep Joffrey in power. Or, like, Joffrey would be trained... No, what did he say to do? He was like, stay the dude.
Regent. Yeah. Yeah. And then if Joffrey becomes troublesome, we'll reveal his secret.
So even that original plan that he gave was one... Like, if he knew about Cersei's plan, that would still correspond with it. Because he could be like, oh, Ned, it's okay, just stay regent. And then this could have still happened, even if Ned had decided to go with that plan. So I don't think Littlefinger changed anything after... Like, I think this was just part of Littlefinger's... Like, I think he was just... What am I trying to say?
It was always his plan.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay, so what does he get out of betraying Ned?
He gets to be on the winning side, so he gets to actually stay on the King's Council.
Okay.
Because I think... Because even in the last chapter when he was like, dude, your honor is not going to get you anywhere, I think he kind of knew that, like, whether he was aware of the Lannister plan or not, he knew that the Lannisters were going to win this one, and he was like, okay, I'm trying to not get kicked out of my job or get killed, so.
Okay, makes sense. All right, that's about as much as my brain can handle for today. Do you have any notes? Anything to add?
I don't think so. I think that's... Oh, the one thing, this is like so anticlimactic compared to the entire chapter. There was something that I noticed. This is so stupid, but I just feel like bringing it up. Because I feel like since we know, like...
You preface things too much. Just say it.
Since we know nothing about, like, Varys, other than apparently he's, like, magical or whatever, and, like, dark wizard vibes, like, some of the people are like, oh my gosh,
Varys, right.
Yes.
Varys, but I just didn't hear you very well. You
okay,
were, like,
so...
covering your mouth.
I see. So, Varys, in the first chapter with Ned, he describes that Varys was doing, like, a hand flutter, and then in Sansa's chapter, she's like, Varys was, like, doing a hand flutter again, and I don't know, I just thought it was weird. I was like, oh, it's his little thing that he does.
He's constantly kind of, like, wringing his hands.
Yeah, and I know that doesn't mean much, but just because we don't know anything about Varys, whenever they describe him, I'm always, like, paying attention, because I'm like, who is this dude? You know? Anyway, that is my last point.
All right. Oh, well, speaking of Varys, do you think he, like, knew about this plan?
Oh, yeah. Varys knows everything.
So he intentionally didn't warn Ned.
What was the thing in the last chapters we read? Oh, he was like, oh, who do you think gave Robert that
wine?
I think yeah, I think he just intentionally didn't tell Ned because I don't think it would have made a difference.
Okay. All right, so let's talk about the upcoming chapters.
Yay.
So we will be reading 3. Okay. Any guesses or hopes for chapters?
I hope we get Ned, but I doubt it.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get Catelyn, because the story's starting to flow more, where like wherever something like kind of happens, it ends up like we see the consequences right away. Yes. Sorry, I'm not like saying things today how I'm trying to like convey them. They're just not coming out.
It's fine.
And I'm forgetting things more. What was I saying?
So probably not Ned. Probably Catelyn.
Yeah. Catelyn. I think Catelyn, Robb, and Tyrion.
Wait, Catelyn, Robb, and Robb doesn't have POVs.
Robb doesn't have what?
Point of view chapters.
Oh my gosh! Wait, yeah. Oh my gosh.
So Catelyn,
Bran, yes.
Okay. And then who was the last person? Tyrion?
I said Tyrion. Oh my gosh,
okay.
That's so funny. I forgot that we've never gotten to Robb chapter. Sorry, continue.
Okay, so we're reading chapters 52, 53, and 54 next time.
Okay.
You writing this down?
Yeah.
Chapter 52 is Jon 7.
Oh, yay! We like a good Jon moment.
What are we gonna see?
Now
I'm for sure this time that last time they went out beyond the wall and found a hand.
They did. So we're gonna see a hand. No, sorry. We saw a hand. I was trying to say we saw a hand. I think they're gonna I think I don't think it's gonna pick up right where we left off. I think it'll be like they'll be back Wait, what's his job now? Oh, he's like with the commander. So I think he'll be like readying himself for his like first shift or whatever, and he'll be like thinking about the hand, and he'll be like, oh, that dude said it might have been Benjen's hand. That dude said blah 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 blah. You know, he's gonna be thinking about the rumors, and he's gonna be going about his first day on the job, and then commander's gonna be like, "Hi, John." You know.
Okay.
So that'll be what happens.
All right. Chapter 53 is Bran 6.
Ooh, yay! Oh my gosh. Bran. Okay, so Bran is not eating raisin bran, because they do not have bran in this world. I was thinking...
That's a throwback to like a year ago.
Remember when I was like, oh, is this raisin bran? Okay, so Bran, last time we saw him, a dude sliced through his leg, and that was the kill, die, the fight,
die.
Yes, that was the thing, when the wolves, and then, who was that dude that, like, launched an arrow? Greyjoy, right?
Yeah, Theon.
So I think we're gonna see, he's gonna be back at home, and they're gonna be like, you shouldn't ride for the next little while, we need to figure out what's going on with these wildling things, and then, Rob's gonna come in and he's gonna be like, hey, brother, this
You have
is...
such boring predictions.
I don't think any...
Okay, so think about this. Sansa just wrote Rob a letter.
No, I was gonna say, Rob's gonna come in, he's gonna be like, hey, brother, look, I heard from our sister for the first time in so long. Because I remember last time he was like, I'm gonna be honest with you from now on, Bran. So I think Rob's gonna come in, he's gonna be like, this whole thing, we're gonna pledge fealty, or like whatever he's gonna do. And then he's gonna see Rob talking to, because you know how Rob has like a council or whatever that like is like, Rob, buddy, don't do that. So I think that he'll just witness those conversations and see them being like talking about why they should or shouldn't.
Okay, got
Good
it.
stuff.
So chapter 54 is Daenerys 6.
Ooh, this is the first time we haven't had a Cat or Ned chapter
In a while, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We haven't really seen Cat in a while, actually. All the past, like, several episodes were, like, Ned and someone. Ned and someone.
That's
Ned
true.
and someone. That's why I had to divide them up into twos, because every other chapter was a Ned chapter.
Oh, yeah. That's true. Dany. Last time we saw her kid became the stallion that rides the world, or whatever
Mounts the world.
Oh, mounts the world.
While also her brother...
Oh,
died.
Yeah, her brother died. That happened. Whatever. We don't care about that. I feel like Daenerys will be like, okay. I think Daenerys will be kind of finally come to terms with it of like, yeah, he was my brother, but like, I gotta move on. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, I gotta move on. And she'll be like, oh, her kid could be born in this chapter. Because her kid was pretty close to being born last time, right? Or am I imagining that?
I don't know how close it was. Like, she's definitely pregnant.
Okay. Well, her kid's not born. She's preparing for her kid to be born. So maybe she's like, I don't know. What are they going to be doing? Because they're so out of, like, they're so out of, like, the main story that I don't even know. Oh, wait! People were going to try and get her killed. That was the thing. So maybe we'll finally see that. Somebody will finally try and then inevitably die.
Okay. So somebody will try but fail.
Yes, miserably.
Okay. Good enough. All right. We are at the end of the episode, and we have talked for a very long time. So, folks, send me your questions and theories to ask Hermit about.
We are 7 weeks away. Let's go.
Wait, are you keeping track of this?
You said 8 last time, so I'm assuming this time 7.
Yeah, I might. Okay, see, I was looking through some of the chapters while I'm really eager to, like, get them done sooner rather than later. I might divide them further just because.
Yeah, because you said we had like 2 weeks of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might need to divide
I'll
those.
see. But I'm so
Okay, but
ready
Nav, we might
to
need to
read
divide
the
those
next
like
book.
4 chapters. Girl, the chapter summary, 2 minutes of me not remembering anything that's going on.
We'll get, yeah. Okay, so for now we're gonna go, yeah, well, we'll see. So that's it, everyone. Email us, popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And I am so very hungry, so until next time, farewell, my friends.
Talk to you later.